When energy leaves, identity remains. There is a kind of training that begins only after energy disappears. Not the dramatic kind. No surge. No music. Just the body standing in a room it has entered 1,000 times before, shoulders heavy, breath shallow, eyes dull. The air feels colder than usual. The floor presses back through tired feet. Someone nearby watches, confused why you showed up like this. That confusion lingers. Most people believe training requires energy. That belief is why their routines collapse quietly. They wait for readiness. They wait for drive. They wait for the moment when effort feels justified. When it doesn't arrive, they call it rest. The body learns that negotiation works, and the room stays empty. You've seen this pattern. Strong starts. Clean intentions. Then evenings where the hands never touch the equipment. Mornings where the alarm rings and is silenced without thought. Not weakness. Just a system built on feeling. Friends nod when you explain. They understand. That understanding becomes permission. Ancient warriors never trusted energy. Zen monks never asked how they felt. Figures like Miyamoto Musashi moved when the body moved, regardless of mood. Practice happened because absence felt wrong, because the body recognized the hour. The mind arrived later, often irritated by that fact. Training when energy is gone is not heroic. It is quiet, repetitive, socially inconvenient. People start to notice the lack of excuses. They stop offering alternatives. Some pull away. That distance is not accidental. Before you continue, write the habit you keep postponing. One sentence. No explanation, the person who always starts strong. Let me tell you about someone who always begins clean. Shoes lined up the night before. Bottle filled. Schedule blocked. The first week feels precise. Muscles ache in the right places. Breath steadies faster each session. Others notice. Someone at work comments on the discipline, half admiring, half curious. He nods without answering. Inside, the body still feels new to the ritual. By the second week, the sensations change. Legs carry a dull weight into the room. Fingers feel stiff wrapping familiar grips. The air seems thicker. He notices the clock more. Training still happens, but something has shifted. Afterward, he sits longer than usual, staring at the floor. A friend texts an invitation for the next day. He hesitates before replying. Then comes the morning when energy does not show up at all. Eyes open heavy. Mouth dry. Shoulders tight from sleep that never settled. The alarm cuts through the dark and keeps ringing. He lies still, counting excuses without words. No injury. No emergency. Just emptiness. The room waits. The shoes remain untouched. Somewhere, a training partner checks his phone, then shrugs and goes alone. That first absence feels small. The body barely reacts. The mind invents reasons later. Recovery. Balance. Listening to yourself. The phrases sound reasonable when spoken out loud. At dinner, someone agrees. That agreement sinks into the muscles. The next session requires a decision again. The floor feels colder when he kneels. Knees hesitate before touching down. Breath shortens sooner. Each skipped day teaches the body a lesson. Not that training is hard, but that it is optional. The ritual loses its sharp edges. Time becomes flexible. The room no longer pulls him in. When he does return, people look surprised. One jokes about the disappearance. Another says nothing at all. That silence weighs more than words. He is not lazy. He is informed. He reads. He plans. He knows exactly what to do. That knowledge sits unused while the body waits for permission. Energy has become the gatekeeper. Without it, nothing moves. The mind stays in charge, negotiating each entrance. Every negotiation leaves residue. There is a moment, usually unnoticed, when identity fractures. Training becomes something he does when conditions align, not who he is. The body feels this downgrade immediately. Movements lose certainty. Breath never quite settles. Others sense it too. Invitations return. Expectations lower. The quiet respect fades into casual tolerance. This is where most paths end. Not in failure, but in comfort. The body adapts to inconsistency faster than it ever adapted to effort. The question is not whether he can train again, but whether he can remove himself from the need to feel ready, before the habit finishes dissolving, where negotiation quietly begins each morning. The room looks the same every time. Same walls. Same light leaking through the window. The body knows this space well. Yet each morning, something different enters first. A pause. Not sleep. Not rest. A pause where the mind arrives early and starts speaking before the body moves. He sits on the edge of the bed. Feet touch the floor. Cold travels upward through the soles, sharp enough to wake something deeper. The shoulders sag forward without permission. Breath stays shallow. The mind offers its opening line softly, almost politely. Just today. You trained hard yesterday. No one will know. The words feel reasonable. They always do. He stands anyway. Not fully committed. Just upright. The belt hangs nearby. Hands hover before touching it. There is a tightness behind the eyes, a dull pressure that makes stillness uncomfortable. Somewhere in the building, a door closes. Someone else is already moving. That sound adds weight. He feels watched without being seen. Negotiation doesn't shout. It drips. Each excuse arrives with evidence. Soreness in the legs. A late night remembered. A future session promised. The body listens. Pulse quickens slightly. Jaw tightens. This is not laziness. It is internal debate. The most exhausting kind. He ties the belt halfway, then stops. Fingers feel clumsy, slightly numb. The knot looks wrong. He loosens it. Reties it slower. This small delay gives the mind more room. The room itself feels colder now, as if reacting. He notices how quiet it is. Too quiet. Silence amplifies doubt. In training halls, this moment separates people. Those who leave do so quietly, almost respectfully. Those who stay move without drama. Knees lower to the floor. The mat presses back. There is a faint ache where bone meets ground. Breath counts return unevenly. The body complains, but it also settles. The mind, surprised, scrambles to catch up. Others notice the difference. One trainee avoids eye contact, embarrassed by their own absence. Another nods slightly, acknowledging something unspoken. No praise is exchanged. The tension remains. Presence itself becomes the statement. The body feels heavier, but also anchored. When negotiation wins, the relief is immediate. Shoulders loosen. Breath deepens. The day opens up. That relief teaches the wrong lesson. It tells the body that avoidance feels good. That lesson repeats itself easily. Comfort compounds faster than discipline ever did. When negotiation loses, there is no relief. Only continuity. The session begins without enthusiasm. Movements are slower. Sweat arrives late. Muscles warm reluctantly. But the ritual holds. The body remembers the sequence. Hands wrap the same way. Knees fold the same way. No creativity enters. This is the invisible war. Not between strength and weakness, but between identity and permission. Each morning ends with one side reinforced. The danger is not losing once. It is allowing the conversation to exist at all, knowing it will return tomorrow, more confident than before. The rule that removes choice entirely. At some point, something shifts. Not dramatically. No vow is made. The body simply stops asking for permission. The hour arrives and the feet move. Not quickly, not eagerly. They move because they always have. The floor is cold again. It always is. Knees lower without ceremony. The mat accepts the weight the same way every time. Energy is absent. That is no longer relevant. Shoulders feel tight, almost wooden. Fingers resist closing fully. Breath stutters at first. None of this interrupts the sequence. The hands wrap the handle the same way. The stance settles into its familiar angle. The body recognizes the pattern and follows it before the mind finishes forming an opinion. There is no decision point anymore. The night before handled that. Shoes placed where they belong. Clothes folded in order. The path is already laid out. Morning arrives and the body steps onto it automatically. When the mind wakes up late, irritated, it finds itself already inside the room. Others notice this absence of hesitation. Someone new asks how you stay consistent. You don't answer immediately. The question itself feels misplaced. Another person laughs and calls you rigid. The word lands without offense. Rigidity implies structure. Structure implies reliability. The room grows quieter after that. This rule does not care about condition. When the body is strong, training proceeds. When the body is drained, training proceeds differently, but it still proceeds. Intensity bends. Continuity does not. Movements slow. Breath stays shallow longer. Sweat arrives late or not at all. The sequence remains intact. On days of illness, the body enters briefly. Kneels. Breath counts once. Stands. Leaves. The chain remains unbroken. No one applauds this. No one needs to. The body feels relief in the maintenance of order. Skipping would feel worse than the effort itself. Social friction increases. Invitations decline. People learn your hours and stop suggesting alternatives. Some admire this silently. Others resent it. You feel both reactions in the room. Neither changes the schedule. The rule has removed them from the equation. This is not discipline as force. Force exhausts itself. This is discipline as environment. The path is narrow enough that wandering feels unnatural. When disruption occurs, travel, delay, interruption, the body adjusts without discussion. The next available moment becomes the moment. Not later. Not tomorrow. Immediately. The mind still speaks sometimes. It never fully disappears. But it has lost authority. Its voice arrives after motion has begun, like commentary on an event already underway. Complaints echo inside a body that is already breathing, already moving, already committed. This is where many misunderstand. They assume strength created this state. It didn't. Removal of choice did. Energy is unreliable. Identity is not. When the rule holds, the body obeys without drama. When the rule weakens, negotiation returns, patient and persuasive. The danger now is subtle. Comfort with this order can breed carelessness. Assuming the rule will hold on its own. Forgetting that it must be maintained deliberately, quietly, every day it continues to exist, continuity held when perfection is absent. Some days arrive broken. Sleep shallow. Muscles dull. The body carries a low-grade ache that never sharpens enough to justify stopping. Morning light feels harsh. The room seems smaller. On these days, perfection is impossible. The body knows it before the first movement. Training still begins. Slower. Quieter. Knees lower with more care. There is a faint protest in the joints, not pain, but warning. Breath refuses to deepen. Sweat barely forms. The sequence unfolds without ambition. No attempt is made to improve anything. The goal is narrower now, do not create a gap. Others train nearby. Someone moves with speed, clean lines, confident rhythm. The contrast is sharp. You feel it without looking. A flicker of comparison surfaces, then fades. Your pace does not change. This is not a performance day. This is a preservation day. Continuity has its own weight. The body feels it when the chain remains intact. Even minimal effort keeps the nervous system aligned with the ritual. Hands wrap the same way. Feet land in the same positions. Breath counts return unevenly but return nonetheless. The pattern holds. Skipping entirely would feel cleaner in the moment. More comfortable. The mind suggests it gently. Just rest today. Come back strong tomorrow. That suggestion carries the memory of relief. The body recognizes the trap. Relief has a cost that arrives later, quietly. On injured days, intensity folds inward. Movements shrink. The body stays upright but avoids strain. A single repetition replaces many. Then the session ends. No satisfaction follows. No disappointment either. Just completion. The room releases you the same way it always does. Social reactions change here. Some see this restraint and misunderstand it. They call it inconsistency. Others assume weakness. A few notice the absence of drama and say nothing at all. That silence feels heavier than praise. It confirms that the work is internal now. Continuity removes the pressure to be impressive. There is no audience to impress when the goal is simply to arrive. The body relaxes into that truth. Training becomes maintenance rather than conquest. The ego finds less space to interfere. Over time, these imperfect days accumulate. They form a base layer beneath the stronger sessions. The body trusts that training will happen regardless of condition. That trust reduces internal friction. Fewer arguments arise. The ritual feels inevitable again. The danger here is subtle comfort. Mistaking minimalism for excuse. Letting low effort become default rather than exception. Continuity must not decay into negligence. The line is thin and requires constant awareness. Each imperfect session asks a quiet question. Are you here to protect the chain, or to avoid strain? The answer is felt in the body, not spoken. The next movement reveals it immediately. Response is decided before obstacles appear. Disruption never announces itself. It slips in quietly. Rain against the window. A late message. A schedule that collapses without warning. The body notices first. Shoulders tense. Breath shortens. The mind begins to scan for alternatives before the room even changes shape. This is where most routines fracture. Not from difficulty, but from surprise. When the expected path disappears, people stop. They think. They weigh options. By the time a decision forms, momentum is gone. The floor stays cold and untouched. Here, the response is already set. Rain means indoors. Fatigue means slower. Travel means abbreviated. No discussion occurs. The body shifts direction the way water does, without argument. The ritual compresses but does not vanish. You arrive later than planned. The space is crowded. Someone has taken your usual spot. There is a flicker of irritation. It passes. You move to the edge without comment. Knees lower where there is room. The mat feels thinner here. That difference sharpens awareness rather than breaking focus. When exhaustion spikes mid-session, intensity drops immediately. Not as surrender, but as protocol. Movements shorten. Breath stays shallow. The sequence continues at reduced volume. Stopping would require a new decision. Adjusting does not. Others notice this adaptability and misunderstand it. They assume flexibility implies looseness. They test it with suggestions. Just skip today. Just move it to later. You feel the social pressure land. It carries warmth. It carries approval. The body stays unmoved. Pre-decided responses remove heroics. There is no pride in pushing through. There is no shame in scaling back. only execution. The nervous system calms when it recognizes the pattern. Fewer alarms trigger. Fewer justifications form. When illness appears, the body enters briefly. Stands. Breath counts once. Leaves. When injury restricts movement, only unaffected motions remain. When time compresses, only the core sequence survives. The rule is simple and unspoken: something always happens. This consistency unsettles people. They cannot locate the willpower. They look for mood, for drive, for intensity. Finding none, they feel uneasy. Some distance themselves. Others watch quietly. Neither reaction changes the response. The mind still tests the system occasionally. It introduces new variables. What if this continues? What if rest is actually smarter? These thoughts arrive late. The body has already adjusted and moved. The conversation ends without resolution. Pre-decided responses turn chaos into background noise. Obstacles lose their authority. They become signals rather than barriers. Each signal triggers motion automatically. The body trusts the system because it has never abandoned it. The risk now is complacency. Assuming responses will always activate on their own. Forgetting that they must be rehearsed, reinforced, and kept simple. Complexity invites hesitation. Hesitation invites choice. And choice reopens the door negotiation has been waiting behind, when the body moves before permission is given. There comes a morning when something feels different, though nothing has changed. The alarm sounds. Eyes open heavy. Mouth dry. Shoulders stiff from sleep. The room is still dim. Yet the body rises without debate. No pause. No inventory of fatigue. Feet find the floor automatically. Cold travels upward, sharp and familiar. The mind wakes late and irritated. It reaches for its usual questions and finds none waiting. Clothes are already on. Hands are already tying the belt. The knot forms cleanly, practiced, indifferent to opinion. Breath stays shallow, but steady. The body has moved past the point where discussion mattered. This shift is subtle, easy to miss. There is no surge of confidence. No satisfaction. If anything, the day feels heavier. But the heaviness no longer interferes. It exists alongside motion rather than blocking it. The body has learned that feeling drained is not a signal. It is background noise. Others begin to sense this change. They stop asking how you stay consistent. The question feels pointless now. Some watch you train on low days and look away, uncomfortable. Your presence reflects their own hesitation back at them. Conversations shorten. Invitations come with disclaimers or not at all. In the room, movements feel quieter. Less force. More inevitability. Knees lower. Hands wrap. Breath counts return when they return. The body settles into the work without commentary. Sweat may or may not arrive. Muscles may or may not respond. None of this alters the sequence. This is where identity solidifies. Training is no longer an activity added to life. It is part of the body's rhythm, like waking or eating. Disruption feels stranger than effort. Missing a session creates unease rather than relief. The absence is felt physically, a slight misalignment that lingers. Social friction sharpens here. People joke about rigidity. They test boundaries with last-minute plans. You feel the pull of approval when you decline. The body stays neutral. No explanation is offered. Silence carries the decision cleanly. The mind still speaks sometimes, but its tone has changed. It narrates rather than negotiates. It complains after motion has begun. Its protests fade once breath finds rhythm. Authority has shifted. The body leads now. This stage is dangerous precisely because it feels stable. The system appears self-sustaining. The temptation is to stop guarding it. To assume identity, once formed, cannot dissolve. That assumption is false. Identity erodes quietly when attention drifts. The question now is not whether you can train without energy. You already do. The question is whether you will continue to protect the conditions that made this possible, or allow comfort to invite negotiation back into a body that has finally learned to move on its own, when consistency makes others uneasy. By now, the routine has settled into the body like a second spine. It holds you upright even on days that feel hollow. Morning arrives and the sequence unfolds without emotion. The room receives you the same way every time. The floor is cold. The air is thin. Knees lower. Breath follows later. What changes is not internal at first, but external. People begin to adjust around you. A friend stops suggesting spontaneous plans during your training hours. Another jokes that you are predictable now. The word is meant lightly, but it lands with weight. Predictability makes people nervous when they rely on flexibility to protect themselves. At work, someone notices you leave at the same time each day. Not rushed. Not apologetic. Just gone. They comment once. You nod and say nothing. The silence stretches longer than expected. After that, the comments stop. Expectations recalibrate quietly. In the training space, newcomers watch you on low-energy days. They expect struggle. They expect visible effort. Instead, they see restraint. Movements are smaller. Pace slower. No drama appears. This confuses them. One asks if you're injured. You answer honestly and keep moving. The question does not return. Consistency at this level removes the emotional signals people use to read one another. There is no visible motivation to mirror. No enthusiasm to borrow. Just presence. That presence creates friction. Some feel challenged by it. Others feel exposed. A few feel drawn toward it without understanding why. The body feels this shift too. There is less internal noise now. Fewer spikes of resistance. Fatigue still exists. So does boredom. Neither holds authority. Training feels flatter, but more stable. Like ground that does not change texture with weather. Missing a session now feels wrong in the body before the mind can explain it. Shoulders carry a faint restlessness. Breath feels unspent. Sleep arrives later. The body notices the gap and waits for it to be closed. This discomfort is not punishment. It is alignment seeking restoration. Social consequences sharpen here. People may label you extreme, inflexible, obsessive. These words are defenses. They protect others from examining their own negotiations. You hear them without reaction. The labels slide off because they no longer touch identity. This is the stage where many soften. They dilute the rule to regain approval. They reintroduce exceptions to appear human again. The body resists at first, then adapts. Negotiation returns politely. The system begins to loosen. Holding this line requires no force, but it does require attention. Not vigilance. Awareness. Knowing that what unsettles others is often the very thing stabilizing you. Knowing that silence can carry more commitment than explanation. The final tension is quiet and ongoing. Will you protect this identity when it costs social ease, or trade it back for comfort disguised as balance? The day energy is no longer required. At the end of this path, nothing looks impressive. There is no peak moment. No finish line. Just a body that moves when it is time to move, regardless of how it feels. Energy comes and goes. Mood fluctuates. Conditions degrade. None of that changes the hour. Discipline was never the act itself. It was never the effort. It was the quiet removal of negotiation until movement became the default. When energy disappeared, identity remained. That is the difference most people never reach. They are still waiting to feel ready. You are already standing. The unshakable person is not the strongest. not the most intense. It is the one whose body no longer asks permission. The one who shows up drained, quiet, unremarkable, and completes the ritual anyway. No audience. No relief. Just continuity. This kind of discipline is not admired loudly. It creates distance. It makes conversations shorter. It removes excuses from the room. People feel it before they understand it. Some step closer. Most step away. Both reactions confirm the same thing: you have stopped negotiating. Energy will return at times. When it does, nothing changes. Training looks the same. Effort does not increase. Emotion is not invited in. Energy becomes just another background condition, like weather. Useful, but irrelevant. What remains is a body aligned with its own rules. A schedule that does not bend. A silence that does not explain itself. This is not a lifestyle. It is not a method. It is an identity that has replaced intention. Comment your public commitment. One action. No explanation. No context. Subscribe now. Not because this moved you, but because it exposed you.